Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, this is Dr. Keith McNally, and I want to talk to you real quickly about a personal problem. Actually, it's involving my daughter, and she is in the fifth grade. She's going on 11 years old. And since COVID-19, since the transition to virtual learning, uh, we've struggled, just kind of plain and simple. We've struggled with that at home, and mostly just in terms of how the school system here in Virginia has decided to focus their energies on deploying and facilitating and managing the virtual learning experience. As an educator and as an educator for 15 plus years, um, in a variety of learning environments, mostly at the college level, I can say that it hasn't been good. So that's just kind of my point blank statement overall to say this hasn't been a really good experience at home. And I'm an educator and I live in the classroom. And so my daughter loves education. She liked school, she liked her teachers, but with the abstraction of the learning environment into a virtual learning environment, it's just been a real struggle. And part of that I've seen is, well, there's a lot of things involved here. And so there's not just one issue, but there's a whole lot of relearning how to do things, how to become engaged, how to engage your students through the virtual learning experience, how to keep our children engaged with the webcam as a virtual learning experience, and really just how to focus their energies better. And there could be a whole series of videos and articles that I'm going to write, and I will write them. And so I'm going to engage in that this year. But right now, I want to talk about how to use PBL or project-based learning methodologies to help students in the virtual learning experience. Because if you're having problems like we're having problems, then you may need some assistance. And so I always go back to questions, answers. And so there's really four parts to the learning experience. It's the question, it's the answer, it's the discovery, and it's the reflection. Now, depending how mature or how old your young one is, they may or may not be able to think about all of that stuff, but I think for the most part, they can talk to you about these four elements if you give them the opportunity to do so. So what do I mean? Um, there's always questions. Start asking more questions and nothing too intrusive. Just kind of get, hey, what's going on? Don't talk about the lesson per se up front, but what's going on, how are your, friends at school, all those kind of things, because they do get some interaction, maybe not as much as they want it to if they were actually in the building, but start asking questions, what happened today? What's going on? And then kind of work your way into the lesson and what they learned. And most, even when we were younger, and I know my daughter says, well, what did you learn today? Yeah, I don't know. Um, well, I know that you, because I get to see the lesson that she's working on. I know you focused your attention, or I know that you did this today and this today and this today. So don't be intrusive. Just start asking questions about the learning and the learning experience, and then listen for the answer. So what is this about? What is that about? Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that. And I know that when you or when we as adults kind of get involved with their learning, they tend to be more alert and involved in that learning experience, because it's not just about them trying to absorb information, it's about them trying to talk to their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their aunt, their uncle, whoever, about the situation. So, for example, my daughter, to be honest, doesn't like to read. Reading is not her best thing, not her thing that she'll go to. She'd rather watch a YouTube video than read a book. However, I want my daughter to read. So, what do? We get books. So we buy books from Amazon and her age level. And right now she's reading The Black Stallion. And so as part of the reading experience, she needs to come back to me and say, okay, let's talk about what happened in this chapter, and what happened in this chapter, and how the chapters link together, and what's going on with the characters and the setting and all those kind of things. So it's just kind of a basic discussion. So it's not just about her reading a book and then forgetting about it. It's her reading a book and comprehending what's going on. And that helps us move to discovery. So I put her in the perspective of the characters in the book. You know, if you were stranded on the island with this horse, how would you feel? What would you think? What would be your immediate reaction? So I give her that perspective, and that kind of helps her understand what's going on with the characters in the book. And then from that, we talk about reflection. So it's thinking about all of the things that we did. Does the book make sense? Does it make sense to you? Was it an enjoyable experience? So she gets to talk about her own thoughts and her own feelings regarding the activity. And of course, in this sense, the activity was reading the book. So again, I'm going to offer 4 suggestions. Always ask questions. And first, don't make it point blank. What did you learn today? Kind of move your way into what they did today. So kind of have those conversations, but in a question and answer format, and give your son or daughter the opportunity to answer those questions. Give them that space, that comfort level. Have them discover things about the activity that they did. Of course, my example was reading a book. Then have them reflect back upon that activity, just in terms of their own thoughts, their feelings, and their actions in regards to that. So questions, answers, discovery, and reflection. And hopefully that will help you move forward as we move forward into a virtual learning experience from here on out. I'll see you next time. Take care.